Here in California, we're undergoing an atmospheric river. There's so much water coming down that it's unlike anything I've seen all year. It's just a torrent of rainfall. And so the activities that I've been keeping myself busy with day in and day out for the last few months suddenly are not a good idea with my equipment. I don't have a bunch of rain gear. I don't have rain waterproof shoes. I have fair weather gear. Even just the weather getting colder spurred me to purchase some cold weather gear, but that's not waterproof. So today I would have gone on a run, and I probably also would have gone on some walks. Maybe I would have gone on a mountain bike ride, but I probably would have spent 2 to 3 hours outdoors just walking and running around today. But because of the rain, I did not. It was cold and windy and raining hard. Not just a little bit, not a misty mist. We're talking cats and dogs with wind blowing so hard that I thought my house might blow over. Apartment, I should say. So with that all being said, it made me appreciate the stuff that you can do indoors. See, for a while now, I've been avoiding going to the gym because I enjoy just getting outside so much. Running these half marathons I've been doing, going up and down mountains on my mountain bike. But it turns out that when it's raining, the gym is your next bet. You're not going to get rained on in the gym. And it's got all the equipment you could ever ask for, including cardio equipment and resistance training equipment. Now, in my previous video, I talked about how I purchased a small amount of home gym equipment, specifically a weird-looking squat rack thing and a traditional flat bench. I just realized it's actually adjustable. That's a big deal. Anyway, so that with a barbell and some weights. I also dug up 2 adjustable dumbbells that I received from a friend. And so I want to talk about how much you can get done with just a little bit of resistance training equipment, and why you might want to get a gym membership even if you do have some resistance training equipment at home, and vice versa. Why you might want to get some home gym equipment even if you have a gym membership. So let's start with something quick and easy. Maybe you just want to be social and you don't want to be cooped up in your apartment or house or whatever. Then going to the gym is cool because even if you don't talk to anybody, at least you're in the presence of people, which brings my mood up. But obviously I enjoy when I get to have a conversation with somebody, which I did today, which was cool as short as it was. So gym is a good way to meet people, and I'm thinking about moving to, well, I don't know. I might want to move someday, and the gym will always be a friendly place that I'll feel at home at, that I can strike up conversations with people. So gyms, they have people. And when you're cooped up in your home all the time, you're not going to meet anyone, you're not going to see anyone. It's nice to be around people. So gyms have that in their favor. Unless, of course, you hate people, then that's -1 for gyms. Gyms have all the equipment you could ever ask for. They have, not only do they have like the bare minimum equipment that you would need for pretty much any workout ever, but they have alternate pieces of equipment to do the same workout. So, for example, if you want to do the bench press, then my home gym equipment, I have a barbell with a flat bench, and I also have dumbbells that I suppose I could do bench presses with those as well. But a gym has all of the dumbbells, all of the barbells, multiple kinds of barbells with different shapes, fixed weight barbells. You can have double same weight kettlebells at a gym. They can afford to do that. And of course they have multiple different kinds of machines for multiple angles, all just for the pec muscles. And that's just the bench press. A lot of gyms will have a lot of different giant machines that you would never purchase for home use. So, and I don't really use machines, but they have their place for people that are recovering from injuries or who really want to do focus work. But my point is that your home gym is never going to have the choice and variety of equipment that an actual commercial gym has. Additionally, the commercial gym has random equipment that I would never even fit into my house. Like, we're talking squat racks that probably are taller than my ceiling, with monkey bars. I'm not going to purchase a giant squat rack with monkey bars to go in here. And I don't really want a deadlift in my apartment, at least not until I get plywood set up. And I don't really want to go out of the way to set up plywood to cushion me dropping the barbell a few inches when I finish my set, or tapping the barbell to the floor every rep when I do deadlifts, or if I do barbell rows, I might want to have the barbell on the floor, and I don't want to mess my apartment up. So for the really heavy lifts, it's nice to be able to go to the gym where they have hard floors set up to withstand the punishment that they're going to take from placing and dropping and bouncing really heavy weights off them. So when you have access to a gym, you can lift really heavy without worrying about damaging your home. Cardio equipment. So like I said, today, atmospheric river. It's raining like crazy. I couldn't go outside and run. I was planning to run at least a half marathon today. Nope. Kind of sucks. And I couldn't walk. And I couldn't bike. And I was bored out of my gourd. So I went to the gym. Yeah, that's right. When I get bored enough, I go to the gym. I guess that's my thing I do when I get too bored. And the gym has all of the cardio equipment you could choose. They've got the fan bike, multiple ellipticals, an arc trainer, which is just another kind of elliptical, I guess. Different kinds of treadmills, not just one treadmill, tons of treadmills and different brands and models of treadmills. They have the treadmills without electric motors that I've never played with. They have incline treadmills, flat treadmills. They have heavy-duty running treadmills. They have Stairmasters. They have spin bikes, multiple kinds of spin bikes, rowers. So you're never going to purchase all these different cardio pieces to go into your home unless you're like Jujimafu, who just did a home gym demo where he filled an entire warehouse full of gym equipment because he can slam $500,000 on a home gym. But I slammed, let's see, 100th of that, so $450 on my gym equipment. And it's not as good as Jujimafu's gym, but it gets the job done for me, more or less. So gyms have a ton of equipment choices. You can mix things up. You don't have to stick to your same old routine. You can hit the same muscle with different machines and different exercises, even doing different parts of the gym. The fact of the matter is, gyms have a whole lot of equipment that you're never going to own. And so it's nice to have that variety of choice. And it's weatherproof. Okay, so gyms. They have all the stuff that you don't have. And that's cool. And they have people, which I think is cool. Maybe you don't think is cool, but I like being around people. Okay, what's not good about a gym? Well, you have to go to the gym. And I have found over my life that the farther I have to go to do something, the less likely I am to do it. So the only reason that I've been consistently eating salads for the last few months now is because I live a block away from a grocery store. So for a while, every day I was just walking to the grocery store and buying fresh cabbage and spinach, and then walking back home and making a salad, because fresh greens don't last long in your fridge. They go bad in a few days, and it's a real pain in the rear end to be managing that. Now, I love frozen vegetables for that reason, because they keep forever in the freezer, and I've been eating a lot more of them lately because they're economical, they're healthy, they can be high in protein if you use the right ones, like broccoli, cauliflower, and spinach. And eggplant. Ooh, I've been on an eggplant bender. But back to the point, gyms, you have to go to them, and that's a downside to gyms. So I have a relatively fuel efficient car, and I don't live that far from the gym. It's like a 15-minute drive tops, more like 12-minute drive. But there and back, it's like half an hour of time spent, and that kind of, you don't want to be doing that multiple times a day. Which today I actually went to the gym twice because I was so bored. So this brings me to home gym equipment. You can get a lot done with home gym equipment. If you look at my previous video, you can see I did my first workout on camera the day that I bought the gym equipment. I bought it that evening, set it up that night, and then did a workout on camera. I did a push day, so I did squats, bench press, and overhead press. And those are 3 of the big 5 that I will be doing for years. There are 3 of the big 5 powerlifting exercises, and of the big 5 powerlifting exercises, maybe I should say big 6 if I want to include dips, but they're the pushing motions of the powerlifting exercises. So it's squats, bench press, overhead press. Those are your pushes for powerlifting. And then for pulling, you want to be doing deadlifts and rows to get your back and your back and your back, because you want your back to be big, especially if you're doing any kind of desk job. Chances are your back is weak and you're hunched forward. So I actually try to put more attention to my back than my chest. Oftentimes I want to train my chest. It's tempting. For some reason, doing bench press is just, it's like fun. You know, I want to press it out. But I force myself to focus on my back so that my posture will straighten out and my shoulders will grow bigger. There's a whole lot of benefits aesthetically and for your health and for your well-being that come from training your back. And you can do those with the equipment that I showed on the video. And I did do a back workout just 2 days ago. Was it 1 day ago? I can't remember. I'm not going to think about it. But I did rows and some shoulder work and some more rows with my dumbbells using the bench. And the point is that to hit almost all of the muscles in your body and get the maximum amount of lean muscle mass growth for the least amount of effort, which is what powerlifting exercises do. Powerlifting exercises are the exercises that will grow the most amount of lean muscle mass for the amount of work that you put into them. So, you know, instead of just doing like bicep curls, like all a bicep curl is going to do is mostly grow your bicep. Like, yeah, you're going to be doing some stabilizer muscles and maybe some core. I don't know if you're doing it while standing, but for the most part, the bicep curl is a focused exercise that just focuses on one muscle. What I want to be doing, and what most people who aren't trying to be bodybuilders but just want to be more muscular, be healthier, stronger, more injury resistant, what they should be doing is they should be doing compound exercises. These are just exercises that hit a multitude of muscles at the same time. So when you do a squat, when you get into the squatting position, you have to pull your shoulder blades back, which puts stress on your lats and your shoulders. That's good for you because you want to grow your back. You have to tuck your butt in, your glutes in, and I have a really messed up tuck from like 10 plus years of computer use. So this is something I have to work on all the time. You have to hold the bar. If you're doing a behind the neck barbell squat, then you've got to get your arms in the right position. There's some flexibility work there. And then most of all, it's the squat. So when you come down, you're using a hinging motion, you're using your hamstrings and your quads. You'd think you would not be using your hamstrings for a squat. You'd think that all of the muscle contraction is coming from whatever this muscle is called. I think it's the quadriceps. But you use your hamstrings as well. And the squat, I think, of the powerlifting exercises, I think the squat is supposed to be the one that hits the most amount of just sheer muscle and stimulates the most amount of sheer lean muscle mass growth. But the other powerlifting exercises are great too. And the point I'm trying to make is that the big 5 or 6, if you include dips, these special powerlifting exercises that I've dedicated all of my focus on for training for the most part, I chose them because they all hit a ton of muscles across your body at the same time. The bench press does your arms, it does your chest, it even does your back, because you're supposed to keep your back pinched. You're supposed to keep your shoulder blades pinched when you do the bench press so that you can feel it in your chest. It's got probably hitting all the muscles around there. The bent over row, when you've got the barbell and you're rowing, again, it's going to get all your arms, your shoulders, your neck, and your lats. So these aren't focus exercises like the bicep curl. These are special exercises where you just do one motion, but it hits a ton of muscles and stimulates a ton of growth. So in the amount of time that it takes you to do a workout with these lifts, you basically get a full body or like half body workout. I'm doing push-pull days, so on my push day, like I said before, squat, bench press, and overhead press. Got to keep the elbows forward for the overhead press. That's something I got to work on with my form. Anyway, you can do all these exercises with very little home gym equipment. All you need is some kind of squat rack, like the one in my previous video. And actually, you don't even really need a squat rack. Like you could just get dumbbells. Dumbbells are not that expensive. They're not terribly expensive. You could do it with dumbbells. You could do it with kettlebells. I wouldn't recommend it. I recommend the barbell because the barbell takes less training. It's safer. You're less likely to have an injury with a barbell than you are with dumbbells or other kinds of free weights, because when you have the barbell, you don't have to use quite as many stabilizer muscles, and so there's less of a chance of you pulling a muscle when you're doing like a barbell bench press versus a dumbbell bench press. Now, I do like doing dumbbell bench press when I go to the gym. If I'm doing a chest day, I'll do the dumbbells because I like doing dumbbell bench press at the gym. But at home, I have the simple stuff that lets me get stuff done. It's the barbell with the squat rack and the bench so that I can lie on the bench when I do the bench press. But there's other exercises that I do with the bench as well. So I might take the bench, I might take my hand, put it on the bench, bend over, grab a dumbbell in one arm, and I think it's just called like the Arm Dumbbell Row or something. My trainer taught it to me. And you just pull your dumbbell up. Use the bench to stabilize yourself. And you don't even really need a bench. You could use a chair or a table or a fence, whatever. Get creative. Like, the point of this video is that it's really helpful to have home gym equipment, and you don't need a lot of home gym equipment. All I have are really 4 things. I've got the squat rack and the barbell, the bench, and then all of the weights that go with it. And I guess I have some adjustable dumbbells. So, not that many things. I can fit all of my home and gym equipment in a 6x6 space. And that's when it's all out. I specifically picked some home gym equipment that could be separated so that I could put the bench over in one part of my living area and the rack up against the wall so that it doesn't really get in the way when I'm going about my day-to-day business. So if you can get home gym equipment that isn't all one connected piece, but you can separate the pieces and put them in convenient places, like if you're pressed for space like me, where I'm living in a tiny suburban apartment, then that's even better. Now, you might be one of those lucky folks with a basement or an extra room or a shed, or you just have a ton of square footage. In that case, you can get more gym equipment, nicer gym equipment. You can get a full-blown, not squat rack, but like a power cage with the chin-up and the pull-up bars and all sorts of accessories. That's nice. But I live in a 900 square foot space, and I can fit the equipment that lets me do the big 5 powerlifting lifts in one part of my space, and it doesn't get in my way during the day. So why would you want to get a little bit of gym equipment when you have a gym membership already? Because I spent the first half of this video talking about how great it is to go to the gym. They have all the equipment, they have people, they have all the cardio stuff, they've got showers, and there's always music playing, water fountains, people that work there, you can ask them for advice and help. They sell drinks and shirts, whatever. It's nice. Going to the gym is nice. So why would you want to not go to the gym? Well, with just a small amount of equipment that lets me do the big 5 power lifts, I can choose not to go to the gym if I don't feel like it, but I still get to work out. So maybe I don't feel like putting on clothes and driving 15 minutes there and, walking in, scanning my card, all that. Maybe I just don't feel like it that day, right? Maybe I don't want to drive half an hour plus spend another 10 minutes getting ready to leave. It's like 30, 40 minutes just getting there and back, right? If you're counting the time to get presentable to go outside and all that as well, right? Like maybe I just don't feel like, maybe I just don't have the mental energy, right? Maybe I'm really busy that day and I just want to bang something out really quick during my lunch break. Or, I only have an hour I can't afford to spend half of that time just driving there and back, right? So in a situation like that, having some meager equipment at home really helps. And furthermore, it really helps if you know all of the different exercises that you can do with a meager amount of equipment. So when I was first learning how to lift, I didn't really know all of the things that you can do with a small amount of equipment. And I still don't know hardly the amount of things that you can do with a small amount of equipment, but I've learned a lot. It turns out that with all of the people that have been doing resistance training for all of the decades that people have been doing resistance training and all of the equipment that exists for resistance training, that you can actually do all sorts of creative exercises with all sorts of with all sorts of equipment. So for example, I found a really cool shoulder exercise from a YouTuber named X, where you just take a plate. You don't need a dumbbell, you don't need a barbell, you take a plate. Pretend this is a 10-pound plate. I think I was doing 10-pound plates. So X, he has this worked into almost all of his training programs. You grab a 10-pound plate and you just make a figure 8. Up and that's repetition. And so I think the other day I just tried to do 25 of these in a row, and that was a set. And then I did, I don't know, 3 or 5 sets, 8 sets, I don't know. And I really focused on, I made sure to keep going until I could feel the burn in my shoulders. And this is a great shoulder exercise. X puts it in all his programs for a reason. He says it works really well, and I sure as heck could feel the burn all in my shoulders. It's a great shoulder exercise, and all I needed was a plate. I mean, I know this is a cup placeholder, but imagine this is a 10-pound iron plate. All you need is an iron plate, and you can do that cool shoulder exercise. There's other exercises you can do with just a plate. You can hold a plate in front of you and just raise it. That's another shoulder exercise. You can lie down on a bench, if you have a bench, and hold a plate behind your head and let it down and then up, and that's a lats exercise. You can hold a plate in your hand and do a goblet squat. You can put a plate on your back and do a weighted push-up. There's plenty more exercises you can do with just a weighted iron plate, not even a dumbbell or a barbell. And I own adjustable dumbbells, a barbell, and the plates. I've got resistance bands, and I have a kettlebell coming in the mail. So if you can do tons of exercises just with a plate, imagine all of the different kinds of exercises and thus all of the different muscles across your body that you can hit when all you invest in is a pair of adjustable dumbbells, a barbell, and some plates to put on them. You got to put some weight on those bars, right? You can basically do everything. You don't need to go to the gym. You can hit all of your muscles and get huge, all within the comfort of your own home without ever having to look another person in the eye or bike or walk or drive to the gym. You can just do your workouts in your boxers in your basement and you'll get jacked. Provided you're doing nutrition correctly. You don't have to have a gym membership, and you don't have to have thousands of dollars to throw down on gym equipment. The gym equipment that I purchased used off Craigslist the other day, I paid $450 for it. I thought it was a fair price with COVID pricing going on right now. Generally, I think it's like $2 per pound of weight. So if you want to buy a 25-pound weight, a lot of people are asking $50. And I don't recall, but I think I got close to 200 pounds in weights alone. And so the way I did the math, I said, okay, I got 200 pounds in weights, that's $200. Or it was over 100 pounds in weights. I can't remember how much weight it was, but it was close to 200 pounds in weights. And then I got the bench and the rack and the barbell. So all of that for $450 to me was a good value. But it turns out you can go to Walmart. You can go to Walmart and you can buy all this rack equipment for less than $200 new from Walmart. So you don't have to meet scary axe murderers off Craigslist. I personally like meeting strangers, so I've been using Craigslist for years. I've done over 100 Craigslist ride shares. I have a few stories where I thought I was going to get killed. Maybe I'll tell those on YouTube sometime. But you don't have to use Craigslist. You can just buy this equipment on Amazon or Walmart, Target, AliExpress, and you name it. People are selling it. So just choose your favorite way to procure cheap equipment, and you can have all of the equipment that I listed for easily less than $500. And then you can do all of the powerlifting exercises. You can do all of the focus work if that's what you want to do. You can get creative and do the figure eights and the goblet squats and the plate on the back push-ups. You don't need a gym. So if you have a gym membership, I would say still consider investing in a small amount of home gym equipment. And if you have home gym equipment, I would say still consider investing in a gym membership. Another benefit of a gym membership is that it's kind of like a sampler platter. If you only work out with the home gym equipment that you have, sure, you'll get creative and you'll get really good at the lifts that you do, but it's nice to have a variety of different equipment that you might not even know exists. You walk into the gym and you see all this equipment and you say, wow, I didn't even know there were machines for that. Wow, you see someone doing an exercise, you say, wow, I didn't even know that was an exercise. So you can learn and educate yourself simply by just going to the gym and immersing yourself in the stuff that's available at a gym. And that, again, I'm not also mentioning all of the cardio equipment at the gym. The mask policies here really suck. I don't like doing cardio with a mask on, but today I whipped out my iPad. I have a 12-inch iPad and the gym has Wi-Fi. So I booted up Netflix and I used my AirPods that have noise canceling, so I didn't have to listen to the sounds of everybody else sweating and gasping and trampling on their cardio machines. I basically tuned out the entire gym, put my iPad in front of me, and did the elliptical for 2 hours. I watched an episode of this, what is it, Altered Carbon? It's like a cool sci-fi show. I watched the first episode of Altered Carbon, and then I watched an episode of this weird sports drama show, which really got me pumped for some reason. I don't never watch that stuff, but it got me pumped. I'd say that's comfy status, very comfy. When you can watch TV with noise-canceling headphones at the gym, and tomorrow I'll probably go and I'll find another piece of cardio equipment that can hold my iPad, because it's not just the elliptical trainer that has a little rack that you can put a book into or an iPad and watch Netflix or read. The cycling trainers have slots that you can put your tablet into. The treadmills have areas that you can put tablets into, and you can watch Netflix and Hulu, watch your anime on Crunchyroll, literally just watch YouTube. You can binge YouTube while you're doing cardio and just lose yourself, and which is nice because I don't like watching TV and it doesn't help with my pop culture references. I suck with pop culture references because I don't watch any TV. So watching Netflix while getting my cardio goals at the gym is a nice way for me to kind of sneak some TV back into my lifestyle. Normally I don't make time for that, but when I'm just grinding it out, when I'm walking and running and biking outside, I can't watch Netflix. I can't watch things on my tablet. But when I'm using indoor equipment, which I don't like, I prefer to be outside, but it's raining. Maybe you live in a state where it rains all the time, like Washington. Well, when you're using indoor equipment, you can bust out your tablet and just watch TV. So you probably already knew that, but if you hadn't considered it, now you know. It is a great way to, keep yourself distracted, and because that's what I want. I want the hours to just fly by while I'm going and doing my low intensity steady state cardio. Last thing I want to cover regarding home gym equipment and efficiency is, in my opinion, the number one best piece of equipment that anyone could own, and which I have coming in the mail, but it's taking its sweet time because of shipping or something, is the kettlebell. So I have a book by this guy named Pavel, and Pavel is this Russian bloke who brought kettlebells to the West, essentially. He made them popular in the West. And this book is an entire book on just two kettlebell exercises, the kettlebell swing and the Turkish get up. So I'm not gonna, oh, I lost my page. Anyway, I'm not gonna demonstrate those because I'm just not, but kettlebells are awesome for a variety of reasons. So number one, all you need are, well, you really only need a single kettlebell. And in the long run, you might get maybe 3, maybe 5, but we're talking over the course of years because you essentially work your way up to the next weight, and it can take months before you're safely able to move to the next weight. So if you go to the gym, if you have a gym membership, you can try the kettlebells at the gym and choose the right weight for you. Then order one of those and have it shipped to your home or go buy it at a store, whatever. And then for the next few months, you're going to be set with whatever weight kettlebell you choose, which if you're interested in figuring out what weight kettlebell that you should use, you can go look up forums on the internet that talk about kettlebells. Reddit has a kettlebell forum. The book that I just showed you, The Simple and Sinister by Pavel, talks about recommended weights for kettlebells, although he recommends heavier weights than a lot of people think beginners should use, but it's his style. He likes to lift heavy and short amounts of reps. I prefer a little lighter and more reps because I like a little more cardio. I like to get a little more sweat with my kettlebell exercises, but there's benefits to both methods. Anyway, all you need really is one piece of equipment, a single kettlebell. That's cheap and it fits anywhere. I mean, I could take a kettlebell and stick it in this drawer right here. So it doesn't matter how cramped your living space is, you can afford to put a kettlebell somewhere. It's the size of a rice cooker. You can fit a rice cooker. I mean, you can fit a kettlebell in any kind of living quarters. Even if you're a college student and all you have is a dorm, you can fit a kettlebell in there. And then you can go out to the beach or some grass and you can do your kettlebell exercises on the grass outside and do a full body workout and get cardio depending on how you do it, and you'll develop strength and lean muscle mass and cardio. Kettlebells are the best. If you don't believe me, go listen to more educated people talk about it, like Leb Stark and Mark Wildman. Kettlebells give you the most bang for the buck, which that's, if you haven't been able to discern so far, that's the theme of my training, is getting the most bang for the buck. That's why I purchased a squat rack with a bench and a barbell, because I want to do power lifting, because power lifting gives you the most amount of bang for your buck. It gives you the most amount of lean muscle mass for the exercises that you do. So barbell and powerlifting for traditional just lean muscle mass bros. And then for stabilizer muscles, athletic performance, injury resistance, overall strength and stamina, the kettlebell. And so that's really going to be all of my home gym equipment. Once I get my kettlebell in the mail, I'm not going to need any other home gym equipment for years. Like maybe I'll buy a power tower so that I can do chin-ups and pull-ups, but if I can trust my door frame, I'll just get one of those devices that hangs onto the door frame so that I can do chin-ups and pull-ups. And actually, I'm planning to just go to the hardware store and buy some wood or cinder blocks so that I can prop up my squat rack safely. Of course, I'll have to tie it down so it doesn't fall and kill me. But and then I can just put the barbell up really high and use that and hang off of that. Because you want to be able to do dips and pull-ups and chin-ups. Those aren't really part of the powerlifting, but if you extend the big 5 powerlifting exercises and you add 3 more bodyweight exercises, so dips, chin-ups, and pull-ups, I want to be doing those in my program as well. To go on a little tangent here, my ideal program would be the 5 powerlifting exercises, so squats, bench press, overhead press, deadlift, and barbell row. The 3 big calisthenic exercises or bodyweight exercises, so pull-ups, chin-ups, and dips, and then kettlebell exercises. So I'm starting with the simple and sinister program, which is the kettlebell swing and the Turkish get up, but I am excited to learn all sorts of other kettlebell exercises, like the one-armed swing and the kettlebell clean, where you do a swing and then you raise it up. I did 175 repetitions of kettlebell swings earlier today at 24 kgs, which is 8 kgs heavier than I've ever done, so I kind of overdid it, but no back pain or anything, I'm fine. Anyway, with that small amount of gym equipment, you can basically turn yourself into a fierce specimen, a fierce athlete. And you really only have to invest $500 or less and almost no room in your living quarters. A little more about the kettlebell. So the kettlebell swing, it doesn't build as much lean muscle mass as the power lifts. Nothing builds as much lean muscle mass as power lifts. But it does build lean muscle mass, and more importantly, it has explosive power, something that you don't really get in powerlifting. So powerlifting and weightlifting in general, when you think of people at the gym lifting iron weights, you don't think of, whoa, 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 like you don't think of explosive lifts. You think of slow, measured lifts, 1, 2, 3. You think of measured, controlled lifts. They're not explosive, but in real life, let's say that you're walking and you trip and fall. Whoa! Slow twitch muscle fibers aren't going to save you from breaking your hip. Fast twitch muscle fibers are what save you from eating it, breaking a tooth, shattering your hip, or whatever. If you want to train fast twitch muscle fibers, you need to do things that use them, like run, I don't know, jumping around, and kettlebells. Kettlebell exercises incorporate explosive movements, and so they round out the powerlifting, right? So you do powerlifting for lean muscle mass, and you do kettlebells for overall strength and explosiveness and fast twitch muscle fibers. And by the way, when I say strength, I'm not just using gobbledygook. I have a very specific concept when I say strength. So when you train your muscles, you can train them in different ways. You can train them for hypertrophy, which means making them physically larger. We all want larger muscles, most of us. So that's hypertrophy training. Hypertrophy training is not necessarily strength training. Strength training is often done at a lower amount of repetitions. So if you were doing the bench press, you could do it two ways. You could do it for strength training or for hypertrophy. So for hypertrophy, you want to do 15 to 20 reps, and you want to maximize your time under tension. I can't remember the numbers, but I think my personal trainer told me something like you want to go for something like 45 seconds of time under pressure, time under tension. So what is that? If you do 1 second up, hold it 1 second, 1 second down, that's 3 seconds in a rep. You do 10 reps, that's 30 seconds of time under tension. So if you do 15 reps at 3 seconds per rep, then that's 45 seconds of time under tension. And so that's something that you can really do with powerlifting. So that will train for hypertrophy. It will make you bigger. But if you want to be stronger, and hypertrophy does make you stronger, don't get me wrong, but if you want to optimize for strength, then you want to lift less reps and heavy. So instead of doing 15 to 20 reps, which is what I'm doing right now, because when you're a beginner, hypertrophy is what you want to go for. But when you get more advanced, then you want to start focusing on strength as well. And so I'm trying to do a balanced approach right now, where I go for hypertrophy, I go for strength, I go for explosive, fast twitch muscle fibers. I'm also just going for better tendons and ligaments and bone strength and cardio. Those are my half marathon runs and my mountain biking. I'm doing a balanced approach to fitness. I'm not focusing too hard in any one area. Instead, I'm branching out like a tree, learning about all different kinds of ways to stimulate my body to grow. Because if you only do one kind of workout, then you're only going to stimulate your body in one kind of way, and you're going to put a ceiling on your growth potential. If you stimulate your body in as many ways as possible, then assuming that you're eating right and you're getting enough rest so that you can recover, then I would think, it's my opinion, that you would grow faster. Now, if you only did bench press, then you would probably get crazy, stronger pec muscles and a big old chest faster than I'm going to. But let's say that you're only doing bench press. Sure, your chest is going to be bigger than mine, but I'm running half marathons, so I've got crazy cardio fitness. I can do basically any sport, and I'm gonna outlast most people. I had a friend take me surfing a few years ago, and we were out there for 3 hours, and they threw in the towel. They thought I was gonna throw in the towel an hour in because I'd never been surfing before, but because I was running almost every day, I basically had unlimited cardio endurance, and so I was able to stay out there on the surfboard in the ocean for 3 hours, and I was fine. So the cardio that I do, the running that I do, it helps me just kind of stay up later, have more energy all the time. I'm happier all the time. Cardio makes you smarter. You think better. You're just happier. I can do, like I said, I can do pretty much any sport better than I used to be able to. So cardio is just making me better, right? And the powerlifting, yeah, making me stronger, making my clothing stretch in the right places. It's kind of nice. The kettlebells, training my strength, making me have safer deadlifts, making me run faster and run up mountains, specifically run up mountains faster. Pavel talks about, he does a podcast with Joe Rogan where he talks about this thing called the what the hell effect. And it's also in the book. If you purchase or read the Simple and Sinister book, Pavel talks about this thing called the what the hell effect, where athletes were given a training regimen of the Simple and Sinister. So kettlebell swings and Turkish get-ups, and they found that both powerlifters and marathoners were able to do better than previously after doing kettlebell swings and Turkish get-ups. So the marathoners were able to run farther and faster, and the powerlifters were able to lift more than they had before. And they both did the same thing. They did kettlebell swings and Turkish get-ups with kettlebell. So I'm running, which makes me better at every sport and last longer, stay up later, be happier, work better. Just, it's amazing for my well-being. The kettlebells are making me better at my sports, more resistant to injury, and they're helping me kind of build just muscle all around, kind of rounding out the spots that I miss. The powerlifting training is going to maximize my lean muscle growth, which is good because the more lean muscle mass that I have, the higher my metabolism is going to go. The higher my metabolism is, the more I can eat. The more I can eat, the less likely I'm going to have a nutrition deficiency, because if you're trying to eat only, let's say, 1,500 calories a day, which is pretty low, but for petite women, for example, that would actually be too high. Some petite women will go down to 1,200 calories a day, and that's their maintenance amount of calories. So when you have a very small amount of food that you're eating each day in order to maintain weight and not get fat, then you run into a higher chance of getting a nutrition deficiency. Because, let's say that you can only eat a single thing in a day. Well, then you might not get your vitamin A, and then maybe a month of that and your eyesight starts deteriorating. I don't think that's how it works. It probably takes longer than a month. And nutrient deficiencies are not something Americans really need to worry about. But the point that I'm trying to make is that the less amount of food that you consume a day, the higher chance you have of not getting all of your recommended daily allowances for all of your nutrients like iron, potassium, phosphate, folate, B12, vitamin C, vitamin K, calcium. And we're not even talking about fat, carbohydrates, fiber, and protein. So if you can eat more, then you're more likely to just inadvertently get all of the nutrients that you need in a day while you're just consuming more calories. So the powerlifting is going to let me eat a little more, which means I'm going to be a little bit more supplied with nutrients, and that's going to be good for my body and my longevity and my health and my well-being. I don't really know where I'm going with this, but the point of the video was that you only need a small amount of equipment at home to get a comprehensive full body workout that will basically last you your whole life. You can just do powerlifting and kettlebells, dumbbells at home with a small space for $500 or less, and you'll be set for life. And then you can also have a gym membership at some cheap gym and have all of the benefits that go with that. And so, I don't know, maybe you've been playing with the idea of, starting working out. Maybe you just have never worked out before. Maybe it's been a long time since you were working out. I'm telling you that you should, because there are a ton of benefits to working out. In the last 8 months, it's really changed my life for the better in a lot of ways. And the barrier to entry is very low. I would recommend, if you're just starting out, just get a gym membership, pay like $30 a month, whatever it is. Don't get like Orange Theory or something where it's over $100 a month for classes that you're not going to use. No, just get a cheap membership at some cheap local gym. Chances are it's not going to be full all the time, and you can use the equipment, and you can learn about different exercises and see what you like. Maybe make a friend or meet some people, ask people to spot you, say, hey, can you tell me if my form is correct on this exercise that I'm doing? You know, you can get into it, and if you like it, if you like resistance training, maybe buy a little bit of home and gym equipment, like the stuff in my previous video, the squat rack and the barbell and the bench. Maybe just get a kettlebell. Look up Leb Stark or Lieb Stark. I can't say his name. I think he's from Switzerland or something. He's this Russian guy, and on that continent. I don't know how to put it. But all he does is kettlebells all day. Or like Mark Wildman, he trains celebrities with just kettlebells. Well, also clubs, but you can do it with just kettlebells. And so for a very little investment, you can get a million benefits and make leaps and bounds towards a better health and well-being. So money should not be an issue when it comes to being fit. And finally, let's say that it is, which it's not. You can't lie to me. You can definitely afford to save up $100 for some adjustable dumbbells or a kettlebell. You can probably save up for $500. You don't even need $500. You can probably save up for $500 and get a bench and a squat rack and a barbell. And you can most assuredly afford $30 a month for a gym membership. If you're paying for Netflix or something, you can pay for a gym membership, and it's sure going to give you a lot more benefits than watching TV on the couch all day. But even if you can't do that, which you can, I know you can, but let's say you can always go outside. You can always go outside, and you can run, and you can walk, and you can hike, and you can do bodyweight exercises. If you live in a country or a state that invests in local parks, you can go to the jungle gym and you can do bodyweight exercises. If you want to get really into bodyweight exercises, look up calisthenics. It's just a fancy name for bodyweight exercises. Basically, these people are outdoor gymnasts. They do crazy moves outdoors on jungle gym equipment. And you will find, in every city in the US at least, adult gym equipment. So outdoor, I don't know how to explain it. It's basically like outdoor playground equipments, outdoor playgrounds, but for adults. So they'll have maybe like a metal ladder that you can climb up and down, and various heights of bars that you can do pull-ups and chin-ups off of. And they'll have a seat with metal bars to anchor your shins in so that you can do sit-ups, maybe some battle ropes, maybe some gymnastics rings that are hanging from a bar, which, by the way, gymnastics rings are a great budget piece of equipment as well. You can spend $30 or $40 on a pair of gymnastics rings and then go to any tree and just hang up your gymnastics rings on a tree branch, and you can get a crazy workout just using gymnastics rings. That's something that I want to get. And they're also good for traveling. Let's say you're going on a business trip or you're going on vacation and you want to take your gym with you. 2 gymnastics rings. They're like this big around each, and they have some rope. Put them in your suitcase. When you get where you're going, keep an eye out for something you can hang them from. And then when you have an hour or however long you need, hang up your gymnastics rings, and voila, you can work out while you're traveling. So you can get really creative and work out anywhere on just about any budget. That's it. That's the video. Start resistance training. Start exercising. Start getting healthy. You have no excuse not to. Get off the couch.